This to us is something that we're not going to give up on, because we're not going to give up on destroying the healthcare system for the American people. That's what we call the battle of ideas. I saw this with my own budget. When I introduced my budget for the first time in 2008, I had just 8 co-sponsors, 8 conservative backbenchers willing to stick their neck out. The political pros told everybody to stay away. Then, the Tea Party members got elected, and now the House has passed it 3 years in a row. You know the way I see it? Let the other party be the party of personalities. We will be the party of ideas. The left is making a big mistake here. What they're offering people is a full stomach and an empty soul.
But Mike, going back to Congressman Ryan, in 2008, he voted in favor of additional disaster response funding for the flood-ravaged Midwest. It was called Roll Call Vote 432.
Yeah.
To be precise, you know, he touted it in his own press release. So has he lost all compassion in the last 4 years, or does he just not like people in the Northeast? I mean, what is the problem here?
Well, Martin, I cannot look into the man's heart, but we can look. We can look at the fact that his own district around Racine, Wisconsin, Jamestown, was affected by some of that flooding in 2008. That was an enormous bill. I looked it up. Your producer sent me that roll call number. Great work there. That was a $162 billion catch-all of the old school in Congress that had all kinds of stuff in it. I mean, there was money there for overseas.
We have responsibilities, one to another. We do not each face the world alone. And the greatest of all responsibilities is that of the strong to protect the weak. The truest measure of any society is how it treats those who cannot defend or care for themselves. You know, it doesn't surprise me that sales of the Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged have surged lately with the Obama administration coming in, because it's that kind of thinking, that kind of writing that is sorely needed right now. And I think a lot of people would observe that we are right now living in an Ayn Rand novel, metaphorically speaking. But more to the point is this. The issue that is under assault, the attack on democratic capitalism, on individualism and freedom in America, is an attack on the moral foundation of America. And Ayn Rand, more than anyone else, did a fantastic job of explaining the morality of capitalism, the morality of individualism. And this, to me, is what matters most. It is not enough to say that President Obama's taxes are too big or the health care plan doesn't work for this or that policy reason. It is the morality of what is occurring right now and how it offends the morality of individuals working toward their own free will to produce, to achieve, to succeed. That is under attack. And it is that what I think Ayn Rand would be commenting on, which we need that kind of comment more and more than ever. I grew up on Ayn Rand. That's what I tell people. You know, everybody does their soul searching and trying to find out who they are and what they believe, and you learn about yourself. I grew up reading Ayn Rand, and it taught me quite a bit about who I am and what my value systems are and what my beliefs are. It inspired me so much that it's required reading in my office for all my interns and my staff. We start with Atlas Shrugged. People tell me I need to start with Fountainhead, then go to Atlas Shrugged. There's a big debate about that. When we go to Fountainhead, but then we move on, and we require Mises and Hayek as well. But the reason I got involved in public service, by and large, if I had to credit one thinker, one person, it would be Ayn Rand.
That you're a disciple of Ayn Rand. Obviously, you read Ayn Rand as a young man, and you found the books compelling.
Her novels
compelling.
Right.
She writes about these people with 100-proof conservative views, particularly on economic matters. What is your view of Ayn Rand? Are you an Ayn Rand disciple? Is that a fair charge?
I really enjoyed her novels, Atlas Shrugged in particular. It triggered my interest in economics. That's where I got into studying economics. That's why I wanted to study the whole field of economics. I later in life learned about what her philosophy was. It's called objectivism. It's something I completely disagree with. It's an atheistic philosophy. But I think what she's done is she came from communism. She showed how the pitfalls of socialism can hurt the economy, can hurt people, families, and individuals. And that, to me, was very compelling novel, which says freedom, free enterprise, liberty is so much better than totalitarianism, than socialism. Those novels I thought were interesting, but her philosophy, which is quite a bit different, is something that I just don't agree with.
The head of a soup kitchen in Ohio has accused Republican vice presidential candidate Paul Ryan and campaign staffers of ramrodding their way into the soup kitchen so that Ryan could get his picture taken washing dishes in the dining hall. According to news accounts, Ryan arrived at the soup kitchen after the food had been served, the patrons had left, and the hall had been cleaned. Photos show Ryan washing dishes that had reportedly already been cleaned. Brian Antal, president of the Mahoning County St. Vincent de Paul Society, criticized the Ryan team for using the soup kitchen for a stage photo op. Antal said, quote, "They showed up there and they did not have permission. They got one of the volunteers to open the doors. The photo op they did wasn't even accurate. He did nothing. He just came in here to get his picture taken at the dining hall."
How's it going on the campaign trail, Congressman?
Today, me, the wife, and kids helped out in a soup kitchen. I showed the kids how to clean and scrub pots and pans while Jenna supervised.
You mean stood by and looked embarrassed for you, don't you? Besides, the kitchen looked clean already.
Give him a break, Lisa. Politicians have to pretend they care and know what real hard work is.
Bet you could use another cold one after a hard day's work, Congressman?
I washed dishes for a living once. But I climbed up the ladder of success with no help from the government.
Except for the Social Security money you took for college.
Bet your wife was thinking, gee, Paul never washes the dishes at home. Hope she has forgiven you for embarrassing her like that.
One for the road, sir?
I'll probably need it after watching my running mate get his butt kicked in the next debate.
That's this tailspin or spiral that we're looking at in our communities. You know, your buddy Charles Murray or Bob Putnam over at Harvard, those guys have written books on this, which is we have got this tailspin of culture in our inner cities in particular, of men not working and just generations of men not even thinking about working or learning the value and the culture of work. And so there's a real culture problem here that has to be dealt with. Everybody's got to get involved. So this is what we talk about when we talk about civil society. If you're driving from the suburb, to the sports arena downtown by these blighted neighborhoods, you can't just say, I'm paying my taxes, government's going to fix that. You need to get involved.
I think the surprise was some of the turnout. Some of the turnout, especially in urban areas, which definitely gave President Obama the big margin to win this race. There's always an electoral college strategy in winning these things, and you know what states you need to win to get to 270 electoral votes. And when we watched look at the map here, Virginia and Ohio coming in, and those ones coming in as tight as they were, and then looking like we were going to lose them, that was when it became pretty clear to us that we weren't going to win.